Alright, so today we're gonna take a look at the QKZ KD7. So this is my top 2 recommendation in my top QKZ video. Links up here. And as I mentioned, I did give my impressions there, but of course we're gonna detail it more in this video. So let's start first with the build. So build wise, actually, as I mentioned in that video, also I'm not super duper fan of the build. So this is actually like Beauty and the Beast in a way, because you know, in terms of the overall look, it's not really the best looking. Actually, might be, you know, one of the most you know, bad looking QKZs. So you have that double kind of design, that double speaker kind of design at the side. And you also have this, like much like the QKZ CK8, so similar in terms of the overall design. Of course, you have a fixed cable. You don't have removable cable here. Actually, surprisingly, you do have a mic, and you do have also some controls, which is interesting. Also, straight plug at the top, and you have that kind of mobile phone-esque kind of design. Of course, in terms of the silicone tips, so it's very soft, which is something that I like. And of course, in the overall build quality of the cable, it's definitely in the cheap side of things, but this is actually not so bad. This is similar than what you get with maybe AirPods, a little bit thinner than AirPods, but similar in terms of the overall feel. Definitely similar compared to the Xiaomi piston fits, and of course better compared to the MH755. So yes, in terms of build, I do like the all black color. The gold accents is actually pretty cool. But of course, yes, this is in the cheap side of things. And of course, in terms of the looks, it will be up to you if you kind of like that or not. Of course, in the package, it comes with you know, the handy dandy you know, case from QKZ. So this is actually pretty cool because, you know, how much is a case nowadays? It's already around like $3. So for $5, $2 more, you get a free earphone inside your package. So of course, yeah, this is not, you know, the best looking case, but it's nice that you have a hardbound, you know, plastic case, and very usable, I'd say. Right, so not a lot in the box, of course. This is in the cheap side of things, but actually fairly cool that you have, you know, a hard case here. Of course, in the ear, this fits fairly well. Of course, this is not your you know, in-ear kind of design. You don't have ear hooks here, so it's not as stable as you know, something like maybe the KZ Pro. That is still more stable, but this is actually not bad overall. I find that it's pretty easy for me to find a good fit because it's pretty angled here. So your ear rests here, and the ear canal is right smack where the angle is. So it's pretty easy to get a very good seal, and it's pretty stable at that. Comfort wise, it's actually fairly comfortable also because it's not that heavy on the ear. This is fairly light and fairly small also in terms of the size. So it's fairly comfortable to listen to for a long listening session. But I wouldn't use this for any running because you know, it's not as stable as your earhooks counterparts. Right now, let's go to the sound. So I do like the sound here in the KD7. So even if I don't like the overall look, the sound here is pretty cool, especially for the $5 price range. So right off the bat, I do like this over the Xiaomi piston fits. And we're gonna compare it to the MH755 in a few. So for me, this is one of the hidden gems, again, in the $5 price range. Not a lot of people are talking about these. So yes, in the title of this video, this is kind of a hidden gem, hidden $5 gem at the least. Right, so it's a U-shaped sound with slight bass elevation. So for bass lovers, you'd actually kind of survive with this one. This is not a super duper bassy kit. Actually, the Xiaomi piston fits is more bassy compared to this one, but definitely this substantial bass. Is a lively sounding IEM, has some punch at the bottom, and also has some air, so it's a lively, engaging, dynamic kind of listen. Presentation is in the clean side, but it has some smoothness to it, so it's sort of like in the middle. It's still fairly clean in presentation overall. So slightly punchy bass here, so that's nice that you have, you know, kind of engaging, dynamic bass. And also boomy bass at that. It has a slight boom. It's not, you know, super duper boomy, but it has just a touch of boom at the bottom. But it doesn't go super deep. Bass is definitely substantial, but not a lot of sub bass here. So this is not your thumping kind of bass. So mids are surprisingly lush in presentation. The vocal region is actually pretty rich. Also pretty nice detail as well. So like in Haven't Met You by Michael Bublé, the vocals doesn't sound thin. It has some richness to it also, and has some raspiness in the music. And also fairly forward in the mix, so it's kind of like a front and center in your mix. You know, the mids are not that recessed in the mix, so the mids shine nicely with the KD7. So actually this is one of the strengths, I would say, in terms of the overall signature. This is a very nice signature. The highs here though are not super duper good. It has a little bit of thinness to it. It's definitely more extended compared to the Xiaomi piston fits. Right on par with the MH755, but it has a touch of shimmer here with the KD7 more than the MH755. The MH755 is more kind of relaxed highs in comparison. This has a little bit more shimmer on top. So definitely that's kind of surprising. That even if it's a bit thin, it has some shimmer and a nice extension also. So it has, you know, that clarity still on top, even in this kind of price range, which is really interesting. So the stage is pretty average here. Depth is more than height. So actually with my Cord Yugo, with my Cavalli CTH, it has kind of a rounded kind of stage, and the stage also shine more with that kind of setup. So it kind of scales more in terms of the sound stage with better gear. So it's you know, super duper interesting for a $5 pair, you know, pairing with those kind of players. But actually what's really interesting here is the separation. So because of that kind of clean-ish kind of sound, and also fairly good sound stage, the separation here is actually pretty good. So I can never gonna give you up. I can hear the positioning of the synthesizer. It's like sort of in the middle of the mix, and the percussion is more of in the right side. And also the cymbals is more of in the middle, so it's kind of clearly seen. Of course, again, depth is more than the height, so the depth clearly shows with the separation here. So pretty interesting, you know, for a $5 pair. That's a fairly good separation, yeah, because of that kind of clean sound. So my nitpicks here are definitely detail retrieval, so it kind of falls short in that regard. This is not a super detailed pair, but it's definitely more detailed compared to your piston fits. I would say in terms of the detail, they're kind of right on par with the MH755. This may have actually a touch more micro detail, but you know, they're fairly close to each other. And also the mids, you know, even if it's kind of has some richness to it, it's still pretty veiled for me. So for actually some tracks, it feels a little bit more hollow. So some tracks it works fine, but some tracks it feels a little bit more hollow than what I would like. So that's kind of a nitpick also. But yes, of course, in terms of the look also, that's kind of a nitpick. You know, this will be a love and hate kind of thing for you. But overall sound, I do like the overall listen. It's lively, fun kind of listen. So this is definitely warranted in that, you know, top 2 recommendation of mine for a QKZ. Alright, so comparing it with the Xiaomi piston fits, the piston fits is a warmer, more bassy in the piston fits, also less detailed in the piston fits, and a more veiled sound. So I do like the KD7 better, which makes this our top 2 recommendation now, because this is our top 2 previously. Compared with the MH755, the MH755 has a better tonality overall, a little bit less detailed, but more bassy in the 755, also less highs in the 755. But overall, I would say that I did enjoy the MH755 listen better, but actually for some people you might like the KD7 because it has a little bit more shimmer on top, a little bit more punchy bass, a more lively kind of sound here. This is a more relaxed sound overall. Alright, so KD7 is a really surprising kit for me. It's again one of my hidden gems in the $5 price range. So if you're a collector in the $5 range, this is definitely something that you should get. You know, it has that kind of lively kind of sound, nice shimmer on top, punchy bass, which makes this a lively kind of listen, lush mids also. So this is definitely a likable kind of kit. You know, for $5, I would recommend it. So of course, just take note of the looks here. So you know, if you can survive with the looks, go for it. You know, you won't get disappointed with this kind of sound, right? So that is our look with the KD7. So this is kind of something that I will do from time to time, a more kind of casual review, because I did miss this kind of reviews, you know, just me talking in front of the camera. I'm a bit raspy right now because I do have I'm a little bit sick, but yeah, hopefully this will get better in my future videos because I am gonna review the NX7 Pro and also the 10 Hi-Fi P1 and compare them with the T4. So that will be really interesting. Of course, if you're into that, subscribe here in the channel. And of course, if you learned something, leave a like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. And of course, what do you think of the KD7? What QKZs do you have? Do you collect? Let me know down also in the comments below. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.